Hey guys, welcome back to Trading Day, and in this episode we've got an awesome discussion with this panel of legends, and we're going to be talking about quite a frequently asked question that we get: how do you get started in the trading world? Not necessarily FX, but FX, equities, commodities, absolutely everything. And we're going to try to do this in the most cost effective and I would say most ethical way you should probably, you want to get started, and to kind of stay away from some of the traps that are set out for a lot of retail traders. I think we all get sort of message from lots of different people of how to get involved in trading, and today we're going to shine a bit of a light on what we think over all of the years of experience that we have on what's probably the best way to get started. So guys, don't forget to thumbs up, comment and subscribe on this video. And who wants to go first then on what is the best way, or shall I say the easiest way and most cost effective way to get started in trading?
I'll jump in on that one.
Awesome.
So basically at Samuel Co Trading, we get asked this all the time through various different methods, social media platforms, everything like that. And we always go down the same route. We've got a free online program that we offer that basically gives you the bare basics. Just to give you an idea, because some people, they don't actually know too much about Forex trading. They've heard of it, they're curious. They haven't looked into it any deeper than that, to be honest. So it gives the bare bones. So it's something to build upon, like a decent little foundation. And then from then on, I tend to direct people to, we've got a lot of YouTube videos. There's an education tab within the Samuel Leach YouTube channel. It has loads of free videos.
I think some of the most watched ones on there are like how to install MetaTrader 4,
yes,
and on a Mac and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's those little things that you don't really think about, like when you've been doing it for a few years, you kind of forget those things because they were like a few days of a problem for you when you first started. But it can be a big thing for someone that hasn't actually done any of that before. So yeah, and free education, anything that's free, any way of learning without having to pay out first, then yeah, it makes sense that, if you're not into it, you're not sure. It kind of sets things straight in your mind as to what you're actually going to be getting into.
Yeah, 100%. I think I don't think people should pay for education when they're starting out, especially when you're in the kind of exploring phase of where you don't know whether it's for you. You've heard about it, you've seen some Instagram famous people discussing it online about how they become financially free. You've been hit with the YouTube episodes, adverts of how to make lots of money in 60 seconds a day. Teach your gardener how to trade. Teach a construction person how to trade in 5 minutes or whatever.
Laptop lifestyle, like sitting there with 3-4 laptops on the table, making out that that's what you're doing.
Loads of cash piled up on tables and dodgy fake Ray-Bans. We've seen you've seen
bags of shopping that are empty.
Getting in someone else's car,
empty cardboard boxes.
Getting in someone else's car and saying it's theirs, or getting in someone else's house.
No, it's getting in one side of the hire car and then getting out the other side straight away. That was mine.
Actually,
that is hilarious. And also getting in saying you own a house when you don't own it, things like that. So there's stay clear of a lot of those alerts. But if you're in an exploring phase, there is free content out there, and I think that you should understand what you're getting involved in before you jump in the deep end and you start splashing out money. It's a very straightforward process. Again, I said free online training, and just digest as much as you can on YouTube. YouTube's quite a busy place. Take it all with a pinch of salt, and make your own sort of outcome.
Be skeptical as well.
Yeah.
If something, it's the old saying, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Yeah.
And that definitely applies to Forex trading. I think, like you say, the lifestyle that's sold and the reality of it.
Yeah,
very different.
On that, when I got into trading, I was at a wealth event, and this guy was on stage talking about trading. I never heard of it. I didn't know what it was. sold me the lifestyle, like, yeah, sign up to our course. I paid a lot of money for that course. They're like, yeah, bring your laptop, we're going to do live trading. And they're like, you don't need a lot of money, but, you could be a millionaire by the end of the year. And the first thing was the training was on a weekend. I didn't even know the markets were closed at that point. And I was like, okay.
Live trading,
So this is going back, I think it's 2011. And I put £1,000 in, and I didn't become a millionaire. I think in 9 months I made 50 quid. So first-hand experience. First-hand experience. But this was after I started to do it myself, and I think for me, I was relying solely on what they taught me, and it was almost to follow something like a program that they sold me. I didn't really know what I was doing, and it was towards the end when I started thinking, "There's more to this." I started looking into it myself. As you're saying, there's free content online. I started to understand the market a bit.
I think it's changed though. You're saying 2011, it's changed a lot.
Yeah, it has changed a lot.
From what there was 2011 then to what there is now.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a much bigger minefield.
Yeah, 100%.
Now than it was then.
And I think more people are aware of it as well.
More woke.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah, people are more woke these days, man. They're more woke. You know, that's true. I know the exact company that you're on about, and I fell for the same thing. And the environment there was just sell
and hype.
They tried to get me to pay like 30k or something in the end to do all these courses. And I was thinking to myself, well, hold on, then you need like 50k in your account at least to trade to make that back. And I'm thinking, at that age, like, who has that surplus, just to throw away?
But I think that specific company, they got massive off of the 08-09 recession when companies were paying out like redundancies. People been working there for like 20 years or whatever. You got a month's pay for every year you've been there. Then they pile in all that money into that sort of program. It's scary, and I don't think that depending on where you are in your life, again, you should not be. Try to keep everything relative. It's very different. If you sit there and you make a couple of 100k a year, a couple of k course to you is nothing. That's nothing. That's fine. But if you're making 30k a year, you shouldn't probably be spending a couple of grand on a course. You should be looking at getting free content, digesting it, learning it yourself, picking up the odd things here and there. I think a lot of people ask me, where do I start? And I say the same thing as James. Go start free online course. If you like the free online and you understand the basics and you want to see what the ups and downs of the life of a trader are, then go grab my book. It's literally not that much money. Yeah, it's 10, 15 quid. See the stress that I've been through, see what I've been involved in, and if you think that's for you, then go and potentially look at getting an online course, whether that's with us or with someone else that you feel is valuable or whatever. But I think, there needs to be clear, structured steps of your journey, and I didn't have that. And I don't think you had that either. We kind of just went from zero to give me $3,000, walk through the door, and you're sitting there stressed as shit because you're like,
then you're committed.
You're committed. You're in.
$3,000 means a lot to you. And
it's not expendable income, which is a big thing to do with it, because like you said, with the guy that's earning 100k, like, you're going to have tons of expendable income, or you'd at least expect it, unless they were investing it in other things. Whereas, as you said, like, if you've scraped together the 3k, that means everything to you, and you don't have expendable income.
Yeah, and as you know, in our previous one, when we talk about a trader's mindset, if you're spending money that is outside of your bracket or money you can't afford to lose, that's not for you. That is you're outside. And that goes the same with your journey. You shouldn't go and commit to something that's a scary sort of level. And I think that needs to be the amount of people that message me like, I'm looking to quit my job and go straight into trading. You're like, no, it's not healthy. It's not healthy.
Yeah, you get it a lot.
You need to take all of this with a pinch of salt. Take it slow. Enjoy the process as well. The learning process can be really fun if it's done in the right manner. It's stress free, and you've got the right sort of team and people behind you, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. I think one thing from that is similar from there to now is it's not like the reality is very different to how a lot of people advertise, should I say, as to what it is. And I get this a lot when talking to traders. They say it was good, but when they start to trade and they really start going live, they think, I heard that the mindset was big, but I didn't realize it was this big. And it really starts to hit them. And I think going back to just talking to traders especially at our events as well that we've run, and we see a similar pattern that always happens. You know, they see something, they think, okay, it's this easy. They put in £200. You know, they over leverage because that money probably means a lot to them. You know, going back to saying it's relative, they lose it. They put in another 200, they lose it. They may go online, do some free online learning. You know, learn from this guy. Almost sometimes an information overload.
Yeah, they get like traders paralysis.
Yeah, exactly. They'll go to look at a guy who may be a profitable trader online, and he's using, I don't know, let's just say the 100 and 500 EMA. They'll go to another one who's using, you know, 8 and 21. They'll go to this one. Then you see in the chart they've got like 10 EMAs. And they're almost doing too much. They're thinking, okay, well, he's doing it this way, he's doing it this way, and you know, by the time they've realised they've wasted a lot of money, lost a lot of money online. You know, by thinking, okay, he's done it, so it's going to work for me. He's done it, it's going to work for me.
It's a good point you make as well. I think people skip. They try something out,
bounce between, don't they?
Yeah, and they go, "All right, that didn't work for me. I'm going to do something else."
Yeah,
and they, you know, the markets are so dynamic. Every month is different, right?
Yeah.
So just because it didn't work that month or that week, even that doesn't mean it's not going to work next month or the month after that. And people just end up skipping from, you know, person to person or strategy to strategy, and it, you know, you just, like I say, it's an absolute mind.
Yeah,
yes,
it is.
And but it's not easy, is it? What do you do?
It's not.
So that's where you need time. So you need like
I'll say that,
6
and that
months,
discipline,
structure.
at least 6 months to give yourself, okay, this is, you know, I've learned this is what I found out, you know, this is a reputable person, reputable company, this is the strategy they've taught. I think you need at least 6 months to test that out, and that can be on demo if you can't afford to put any money in. And
there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, you're not getting the mindset of trading real money, but at least you're actually testing the waters. You've still got your job or your student or whatever you do, but you've given yourself like at least 6 months to give it a shot, rather than just putting in, like you say, £200, £500, whatever it is, and over a month either blow that or double it and then blow it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not something that's sustainable.
If I was that £200 a month person, I would be like, right, okay, I blow £200 a month trading, that's not cool. So I'm going to save that £200 a month, put it to one side, and I would go and demo trade for 12 months and go see what my performance would be if I was to follow those rules exactly to a T. And then at least I know I've got £2,400 to go into a trading account where I risk 1% of that, which is 24 quid per trade. Yeah, I'm not going to make a lot of money, but this is a lot of things. People go, how do you trade with a small amount of money and make a lot of money? And, you know, it's not about that. It's about the process, because it's all about percentage. Because if you can do it with 2.5, you can do it with 2.5 million. It makes no difference. It's the percentage movement. So if you're, you know, trading 24 quid and you're looking at this going, well, I only made 50 quid back from this, that's fantastic, because it's just a scale game. And, you know, a lot of these people that ask that are very young as well. You know, they're 17, 18, 19. I've even had some kids at 14, 15 saying, how do I get involved in trading? And I'm sitting there like,
you've got 4 years to practice.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
Skills,
I tell them all the time,
You've
you
got
literally have years that you can practice and nail it on a demo account. Treat the demo account as real, because a lot of people don't, and that they make massive mistakes with that. Like, treat it as if it were real money in your own mindset. Get through all of it. Like, I hated it when I first started, because I treated the demo like it was real. And I'd go through all of the emotional roller coasters that, like, everyone, so that when I did go live, like, I was actually quite okay with it, because I'd already kind of got that out of my head. Like, I just treat it as real, panic when it was going bad, go through all the learning curves that you need to do, have that patience to just ride out the actual demo, like, because they could sort it in a couple of years, and they could have a really successful strategy by the time they hit 18 and can trade live.
I think it's important just to make sure that, you know, these people want the answers now, and it's not something like that. This is like, see this like a university degree. This is going to take 2 to 3 years to, you know, or full time to manage, to grow, to perfect, to see what works for you, what you like, your understandings, and you're always going to carry on learning. But it's so crucial to make sure you start off the right way, really.
It's like starting a business as well, isn't it?
Yeah, treat it as a business.
Most businesses, the first few years, are going to be making a loss, right? So you can see that as you're learning those first few years.
Definitely.
So, you know, you're not just going to start up a business and expect it to be profitable straight away. Whereas people in trading, they get lured in, and they almost expect that, why am I not making this? You know, I've spent an hour on my charts, I should be up 1,000%.
And to all the viewers, like, we are acknowledging that, like, you know, you may be wanting, like, monetary reward to sort out your own personal stuff. Like we're not skimming over the idea that, well, I kind of need money and I got into Forex to make money. We're saying it's a long game. Yeah. It's not that short win, because even if you do manage to like blag it at the very beginning, get lucky, you could instantly lose it because you haven't had any of that discipline.
If you're in Forex from the day one to make money, you're in the wrong industry.
Yeah.
You know, there's a reason why like 89% or whatever it is in the retail industry lose money, and it's because of those small deposits, lack of knowledge, going down it. This is something that you have to be prepared for. You know, it's like a war, isn't it? You can't just be like, day one, mate, here's a gun, off you go do well. You know, it takes time to train for the right scenarios, to be prepared for it and know what you're actually facing. I think it's important that we discuss some of the new traders or people exploring this area should keep a watchful eye out for when they start. And I'll probably go first and say, you know, staying away from copy trading or signals. You know, especially if you're a beginner, you're just about going to know how to work your way around a chart. Let alone how to calculate your lot size, your risk, your correct trade management and stuff like that. So copying someone else, especially when you don't have access to your charts at all times to take the trades at the exact same time as someone else, you know, you're not going to get the same results. And that's if they're actually good at trading. You know, 9 out of 10 times, a lot of the signal providers aren't profitable. And you know they're not making money from that side of things. So I would say be careful of signal providers / copy trading, and I would say educate yourself first. I think being educated is more important than copying someone else.
Yeah. I'd say going back to what James was saying about demo accounts is keep it real. Don't live in a fantasy. If you, whatever your means are, if you know when you're ready you're going to put in £1,000, 10,000, whatever it is, there's no point in getting a demo account of £500,000. You know, thinking I'm going to make all this, and if you've got 100 quid shitting yourself when you're down 20 quid, you know, so I'd say keep it real and try not to listen to too much noise. You know, as you're saying, educate yourself. You know, what do you see, not what does your mate see, or what everyone in your WhatsApp group sees. What is it that you see? You know, sometimes it's good to kind of break away from that noise and just zone into the markets. You know, just observe.
I think they're great points as well. You know, you see people with these large demo accounts and, you know, it's nothing what they're actually going to deposit. So they're living in a bit of a fairy world. So keeping it real is important. I'd also say be careful for those that are you know, reaching out to you. So, you know, they slide into your DMs or whatever and they're like, do you want to become financially free? Do you want to, you know, sign up to this, sign up to that? You got to think, if they're pushing that on you and they're coming to you, then they need you. So I think if you're ever going to go with an educator, go with someone that's not, you know, they're not coming at you, so to speak. You know, they're sitting there, they're taking questions, but they're not coming at you. They're not pushing it on you, saying you need to sign up. If you want to be part of my limited space team, you know, they've always got a limited space team and we've got one opening and all this lot. You know, stay away from that sort of thing, because that means that they need you, and, you know, you don't need them. You just need to get, you know, you're exploring your sort of, you know, early footings in your education.
Just adding on to your point is imitation accounts. I literally had a guy the other day DM me on Insta saying that he'd invested into someone who was imitating Dale Sovereign.
Oh God!
And he gave him money for Bitcoin mining, and I was like, Dale's like not with us.
Yeah,
You know, you really feel for these guys, but I've had people DM me say, "Oh, you know, when can I get a return on my investment?" I'm like, "Sorry." Yeah, I gave it to this guy, and it's a completely different name, but with your picture, or something stupid, or like my picture with someone else's name. It's like, do your homework on, if they're saying that they're working for this company, do your homework on the company, because if only they looked at our website, they would see we don't we don't take any third party capital.
Yeah.
You know, anything you can protect yourself so much. You know, don't just be blindsided. You know, look into what it is and who you're actually talking to.
Yeah, don't send anyone any money over social media, and especially do not send them crypto money. Like, at the end of the day, you do not need to send anyone any money, especially over social media. Yeah,
or to emails at hotmail.com.
Yeah, or hotmail.com. Yeah, you know.
And you know people are capable of doing the research because they've realised they've made a potential loss. Then they've done their research, found you, legitimately asked, hey, what's the deal with this? do you guys do this? Do you guys do that? And all of the questions come after the horse has already bolted. So yeah, just do the homework first.
But between us, would you ever send anyone any money ever over social media?
No. It's desperation, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I understand that they're literally tapping into that dream.
We're not in that situation.
Yeah,
they're in where we need that money. And it's the people that are like, oh, I've got like sometimes I send the messages to them, right, and they're like, oh yeah, this is my last £500 or dollars, and I'm sending it to you. But that's why they're in that state, because they need that money, and they're in that desperate situation where someone's approached them, like you say. And they've said, I can give you these returns in 2 days.
I've seen that $500, and then in a week I'll give you like $4,500 back. You're like, get a grip. If you could do that, you're not here.
Oh, you need to send another 1,000 to release the 4,000.
Yeah. Then there'll be a bank tax.
Disgusting.
Then there'll be something else. There'll be a long list of excuses why they can't get the money to you unless you send more money. And then we've seen like literally messages from people, picture messages where they're saying, look, this is the last bit of money that I have. Like, I really need this money. And people don't care. They're heartless. They're out to fully scam you of your money. Don't get involved with it. Distract, anyone that thinks that that's a valid thing and they say, yeah, I'm going to go in for this, like, just tell them not to, because, you need to stop people like that. It's disgusting.
So I think on that note there, on the hurdles, the main points is there: stay away from copy trading and signals, stay away from any shiny shoes sort of presentations where but today you can get X amount off and they're selling financial freedom and stuff like that. I'd stay away from that. Stay away from anyone that's approaching you for joining their limited signals group and everything else, or approaching you via social media for their Bitcoin mining investments.
Yeah, realistically, if a business is doing well, they're not going to approach you for it. The customers come to them. That's the whole point.
Yeah, we don't approach anyone on social, and you want to stay away from signals, anyone pushing Bitcoin mining, stuff like that on you. Any of these sort of Telegram groups, we're not on Telegram. Stay away from that sort of thing. I think the basic way here is start off with simple steps of understanding that the journey is not going to be a quick journey. Start with free education, digest as much as you can on YouTube, from our free online programs as well. What kind of steps would you then take, I suppose, after you've gone through the free online training, you've gone through all the YouTube videos? What's the next step? You've decided that I like this, it's something for me. Where do you go from there?
My actual step was the junior trader program.
Okay.
2015 when I joined the company. I did have a break from when I did it in 2011, and I was actually in that stage where I wanted to get involved and I didn't know where to go. So generally, that's when I joined Samuel & Co Trading. I looked into you at the time. I looked into the company. I saw what was on offer there, and I kind of looked at it and I thought, okay, look, what's kind of the worst that can happen? I mean, talking especially now with how the junior trader program is, and for those who are skeptical, don't know how they're going to trade, or maybe even say for example they put a pot aside of 2,000 or 3,000. This is what I'm going to use to trade with, and you think you can de-risk and actually trade up to a 25,000 account, and if you lose money, you can still walk away. The education is free. Yeah, there's a small charge for the account, but even if you did it for 3 months and it didn't work out, you didn't make money, you've still got most of that £3,000 left. You've got over 2/3 of it left, so you can go do something else. You may decide in that time, okay, trading is not for you, but what if you do make money? You're using a small amount of money and you're trading a larger amount of money. But I think as well, going back to what we were discussing, it's harnessing. It's the things that not everyone sees. It's the continuous support that they get. Like myself and Atish do monthly reviews with them one-on-one, and when we were talking about people go on YouTube, they look at adding a fib, adding in this indicator, and that's where Atish and I really kind of see how that person's trading. We try to harness them as a trader, not necessarily so rigid. Think, okay, he's actually quite profitable by this. Keep doing it. It's working for you. If someone's overcomplicating, it's like, okay, look, maybe look to simplify your trading. You have that constant support level, and Atish and I are always like, just email us anytime.
You turn around and you say, no. Look, go on Google, do professional traders use Fibonacci?
Yeah, I know.
And then the top thing comes up and it says, no, do not place trades on this indicator. That's what it says.
But a lot of things, especially for new traders, it's the things. It's not until someone's looking at you placing your positions and generally going through with a fine tooth comb, at your stats, down to actually not even go through the minute of the day that you've placed your positions, just to see what it is you're doing wrong, because it's the mistakes that we've made.
Yeah,
we learn it's how we grew, and a lot of the things that we've gone through, we've either heard from other traders or done ourselves. And so even sometimes simple things people don't realise, they're counter trend trading, and they have that ongoing. And even if they do get in month 1 or 2. Eventually we do turn most of the traders around profitable. So for me, my personal step was doing the JTP, and it worked out great.
Amazing. And you've been here 5 years now.
Yeah, 5.5. 6 years I get a Rolex, isn't it?
I don't know about that. I thought that was 10, wasn't it?
No, you said on the programme, you said if anyone's here for 6 years, I'll buy on the Junior Trader programme.
So you got video proof? Any videos?
Oh.
I don't.
You did say it. If you've been here for 6 years, I'll buy your gold.
Anyone that was on Raj's.
That's the only reason you're still here.
It's the only reason I'm still here is my retirement plan.
Well, if anyone's on Raj's training, want to come forward and vouch for Raj, that'd be interesting. I can't remember 5 years ago.
I'll give you halves. You were there.
You'd take the next route. You'd go down the JTP. You'd minimise your risk on the costings from the monthly fee. And then, potentially if you do well, you get your 4% withdrawal. You've pretty much, got that money back, and you haven't really lost anything from it. Or in 3 months, you're saying that if it doesn't work out for you, you've looked at canning it in and going somewhere else, and you're still left with majority of your capital rather than losing the 2,000. Because obviously that's the stats in the UK. It's roughly, I think the average deposit in the UK is roughly £2,000, and most retail traders only last 5 months. Yeah. So, you're basically saving everyone $1,500, worst case scenario, roughly. And if they do well, they end up being able to withdraw money and moving in the right direction and having ongoing support. I think that's a sensible suggestion.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, 100%. And like you're saying, if you've got 2,000, you've still got a lot of it left if you don't make money. And even if you end up on a live account, 25k account, if you end up losing like 10% even, you've lost $2.5 grand on the live account, but doesn't personally affect you. You've not lost it. The company's taking that risk. But for me, it made sense. Maybe not for everyone, but for me, it made a lot of sense. I've seen a lot of our traders, as you described in the episode during the week. Traders of the week, we've got some cracking traders, very consistent. Got traders that do move up after 3 months consistency. They go from 25 to sometimes 50k, and you look to where you're going to go from having 2,000 or 3,000 in your account. Where are you going to trade a 25 to 50k account?
Yeah.
So to me, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. What would you say to those that don't want to go and do the JTP?
Don't.
Yeah.
It's your choice, isn't it? Like you've got to make that. You've got to come to that decision. We're not here to push anyone to anything. Just do if you're going to go elsewhere, do your research on the company. Again, just ask yourself questions. Don't just lap everything up that you see and hear. People, they go as far as faking reviews, and we've had people coming, even in the Real Forex Trader, people coming into interviews saying, I did this signal group, I lost my money in 3 months, all the reviews are fake.
Yeah. Cool. So that's some of the hurdles that you should watch out for when you're getting involved in the markets, and also probably I'd say the best way to get started in a cost-effective way. I would also say join my WhatsApp. My WhatsApp's just below. Feel free to ask me any questions. Don't worry, it's free. There is no charge. You can ask me any question you like about getting started, and I'll try to answer as much of the questions as I can. In fact, actually, from joining the WhatsApp, I do loads of giveaways weekly, of cash giveaways. So you actually earn from my WhatsApp without actually having to give me anything. So that's probably a nice little way. Maybe you can join my WhatsApp, earn, and then use that money to go and trade, like some of the people have done in the WhatsApp group. And again, like I said, I answer as many questions as I can. Hope you've enjoyed this discussion about our take on what to look out for in this industry, how to get started, and we'll see you in the next episode of our discussions, and maybe we'll go and trial these copy trading services and give you some feedback on exactly what's happened. And we won't name them, but we'll give you an example of exactly what we're talking about. Thanks, guys, for watching. Don't forget to thumbs up, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode.